Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Annie, and today we are going to be knitting while we're going to talk about several different ways that you can be gentle to yourself. So today, while I do this video, I'm going to be knitting. I'll make sure I link the pattern that I'm following. It is the Folklore cardigan. There was a pattern released. I can't remember the exact name of the pattern, but I'll link it below. And I've been following a tutorial on YouTube that just walks you by step how to do it. And right now I'm working on one of the front panels. This is the second one I did. The other ones I've been working on it for I think since January 2023 on and off. I don't have all of the time in the world to knit, so I just kind of get to it when I can. But I know eventually I will have a hand knit Folklore cardigan with all of the flaws that I've introduced to it along the way. And that self-deprecating humor kind of brings me into the theme of today's video, which is how to be gentle to yourself. That is something that I struggle with a lot. It doesn't come naturally to me. I just have this instinct to sort of be really hard on myself, and I know a lot of people do as well. Just your internal voice is just this really self-deprecating thing for no reason. Maybe doing this is a bad idea because sometimes my thoughts will just stop as I focus on the knitting. I'm gonna be looking at notes I have over here, my notes for the video, and the pattern that I just kind of scrolled down. So if you see me looking over here, that's why. So whenever I find myself sort of being really mean to myself for no reason, I've found that it really helps, and you've probably heard this before, but to just picture that you're talking to your younger self, just you as a child. Because would you say the things that you're saying to yourself now if you were saying them to you at 6 years old? I would hope not. Because I'll just go on this awful spiral, just saying all of these mean things to myself when I just make some stupid little mistake. And I wouldn't want to say that to me at 6 years old, or really me at any point. So why am I saying it to myself now at 24? It's not fair, and I don't deserve to be treated like that. I wouldn't let other people say those things to me. So I'm not gonna say them to myself. And not even just the things that I'm saying in my head, just the way that I treat myself. Would I treat myself at 6 years old like I treat myself now? And that's what I'm trying to get into the habit of, is to just be nicer to myself. Because, I'm somebody that I spend all of my time with. I think that maybe I would want to be good company to me. Just think, we are just grown-up children. We are still children on the inside. I will always be that 7-year-old girl. So maybe I should be nice to her because she deserves that. Life is really hard, but it is so much better when you just find little ways that you can be kind and gentle to yourself. That's just what I'm going to be talking about in this video, is ways that we can be kind to ourselves. So one of the easiest ways I've found to be kind to myself in my adult life is to cook myself meals even when it's just me eating. If there's a night that my fiance is going to be at work late or something like that, and I get home and it's time for dinner, I have this urge to just be like, oh, well, there's nobody here but me to cook, so I think I'll just eat out or something like that. And eating out every now and then is fine, but when I make a habit of it, it doesn't really leave me feeling too good. And the point is, I deserve to be cooked for too. I deserve to cook myself nice food. I don't need the excuse of having somebody else there to make a nice meal. I can cook dinner for myself, and that's great. That makes me happy. I deserve to have a nice home-cooked dinner. Another thing that I've been doing as well that has really helped me just be better to myself is meal prepping. It took me a while to get into it because I was like, it's taking so much time to do all of this meal prep. I might as well just quickly throw something together in the morning for my lunch. But I never do that. And that just leaves me eating fast food or worse, nothing at work. So I started meal prepping. Every Sunday, me and my fiance will just make a really large portion of some kind of meal. And for Christmas, I got these cute little glass meal prep containers, and there's 10 of them. And so we each get 5 meal prepped lunches throughout the whole week, and they make me feel so good. It makes me feel better because I'm eating something that's better for me. And when I open it, I'm like, wow, thank you, past me, for taking the time to make this homemade meal and prep it, and now I have this to eat for my lunch. I opened one the other day and I was like, wow, I made myself my favorite food to eat this week. And I feel so happy about that. It makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so loved from myself. Another thing is making time for the things that I enjoy. You can get so caught up in just trying to survive that you forget that you should really be taking time to do things you enjoy, like making this video. I've been putting this off for so long because I had laundry to catch up on. I had the house to clean. I had to do XYZ. And then when you get home from work, I work like 9 to 5, you're just so exhausted from work that you don't want to do all the stuff you have to do. But you kind of end up having to do it, or it doesn't get done. So you just kind of have to carve out time to do what you want to do. Make doing what you want to do into a non-negotiable task that you have. Say, okay, this hour of my life on Saturday night, I don't care what else I have going on, but I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play The Sims. Because that's something that I enjoy and that's something that I want to do. You really need to make time to do the things that make you happy. You're going to use that joy and that happiness to fuel your week. You need something to look forward to, even if it's something small. Even if you can only get 30 minutes of Sims or whatever that thing may be, make the time for it. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is listening to podcasts, and I'll do that while I'm doing other things like chores, like when I'm cleaning or folding laundry or anything. I'll listen to a podcast at the same time, and it's kind of multitasking, one of those things that gives me joy. So, if it's listening to music, listening to a podcast, anything that you can layer something that you enjoy onto a task that you might not enjoy as much, do that, because it gives you that dopamine and that, joy from doing things that you want. Another thing I've started doing is trying to make sure that your space is comfortable. I personally work a lot better when the space that I'm in is clean, comfy, and cozy. Before I made this video, I picked up the apartment briefly and I made it look better. And obviously I want to do that because I don't want the apartment to look like a mess when I'm recording a video, but it just helps me focus in general. For all you know, behind this camera, it could be really messy that I'm looking at, but it's not, because I can't focus when it's a mess. So I kind of just take it upon myself to just do a little bit of picking up and make the apartment cute. I got my folded blanket here, my Taylor Swift pillow, my little cherries. There's a bunch of Taylor Swift up here that's out of frame. I've got like a cute little clock over here and my cute little Taylor Swift friendship bracelet glass that I'm drinking out of. I make it cozy because I deserve to live somewhere cute, happy, and fun. That's one thing I've loved about living on my own with my fiance, is I get a lot of decorating freedom in more than just my room, and I have income that I can spend on cozy cute decorations like a Taylor Swift pillow or a cute coffee cup blanket or little cherries or posters I got from the Taylor Swift concert that I got to go to. I don't know if everybody else is like this too, but when I'm in a cute cozy space, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot more productive and ready to face the day. There's just something about an apartment that is clean, filled with cute decorations, plants, and a cat that just makes you feel like you're ready to take on the day. Another thing is to take the pressure off of yourself if you fail. Allow yourself to mess up. You're a human. You are not going to be perfect all of the time, or most of the time. Let yourself fail without being mean, and acknowledge that, life happens sometimes. I can mess up and do something stupid, and I will beat myself up about it for way too long. But that kind of brings you back to what I was saying at the beginning about inside of you is just you at like 6 years old. Would you say those things to yourself at 6 years old? I certainly hope not. Just allow yourself the space to mess up in life, because it's going to happen. No matter how hard you try, you're going to mess up at some point. And maybe it won't be so bad if you know you're not going to take it so hard. Because usually, at least for me, the person that I can be afraid to disappoint the most is myself. Knowing that I can be such a harsh critic to myself, it stresses me out. So if I'm a little bit nicer to me, I can feel a little bit more freedom to just mess up and be human and improve. Because to improve, you have to mess up and do things wrong. Like the beginning of this cardigan, there are so many mess ups. This is the first real project that I actually took on knitting, which is insane. I learned the basics of knitting when I was 11 years old, but last January I was like, I really want a Taylor Swift cardigan. I don't think that she's restocking them, and I can't pay the resale prices. And I did have a dupe, but I didn't like the way that it fit. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna knit it myself. I'm gonna have that cardigan one way or another. And then in July, she did end up dropping it, and I did get the cardigan. But I'm still making this because I deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve cool things. You deserve handmade things, and you deserve to be happy. We can put that quote up somewhere. That's a good quote. But the beginning of this cardigan, it is riddled with mistakes. It's probably riddled with mistakes now, just not as obvious. My tension is off sometimes. The whole back panel, I was twisting stitches and I didn't even realize it. But you know what? Nobody is gonna tell unless they're closely analyzing it or they're also a knitter. Honestly, I can't even tell sometimes when I've twisted a stitch. I told myself when I was making this cardigan, there are gonna be mistakes in this work, but that's okay because I'm learning, and I've just accepted that there's gonna be mistakes. And I think that we should probably take that same approach in life. You have to accept that there's gonna be mistakes. You're gonna mess up, and that's okay. The important thing is that you keep going. You keep making the cardigan, even when you were twisting your stitches a couple pieces ago, and the tension is off, but the important part is you're doing it now, and it looks really cool, and it's really impressive that you got to this point. Another thing, make food that you like. I kind of realized that as an adult, you're in charge of the food that comes into your house. You're in charge of what you buy, and you can make it how you like. Luckily for me and my fiance have pretty much the same taste. We both like things very spicy. But growing up, I was the only one in my house that really liked things spicy, and I had a completely different palate than most of my family. Moving out on my own with my fiance, so I guess that's not on my own, but moving out of my parents' house, it was like a whole new world of what I could cook, because I could make my own things at my mom's, but it felt kind of weird, like buying all of this stuff just to make a portion for one person. Now I can make the type of foods that I like. One of my favorite things that I make now is guacamole. Like, I'll make my own guacamole. They don't like guacamole. I don't even know if they've tried guacamole. But I make my own guac, and I make my own like copycat chipotle bowls. They don't like spicy stuff. They don't like Mexican food. It's just, I get to make the things that taste good and make me happy. And it's not that I didn't like the things that I ate growing up, but it's just, it's like a different kind of freedom to be able to go to the grocery store and say, this is what I'm making this week. This is what I'm buying. And yeah, I get to make the food that I want to make for dinner, and that's so fun. The last piece of advice, the last tip that I have is, when you can, make things easier for your future self. If it's not gonna take you that long, just do something that's a little difficult in the moment just to make it easier for you in a couple of hours, in a couple of days, in a couple of years even. If I am just sitting over here and I notice, oh, I left my cup out, I could just leave it there, or I could take 2 seconds to go and bring that cup to the sink. And that makes it a lot easier on future me, because the apartment looks less cluttered, everything is in the sink where it needs to be for washing. It's just, it's a lot easier. I can get up when my alarm first goes off, or I can snooze for like 20 minutes for that like really unsatisfying bit of sleep, or I could make it so much easier on myself and just get up when the alarm goes off and then not have to rush in the morning to get ready for work. There are things that are like little battles that I have to fight, but when I do fight them and when I do win, it makes it like that much easier for future me. It feels nice to do good things for yourself. You get both benefits. You get the benefit of feeling good for doing something nice for someone, and you also get to be the someone who had something nice done for them. So it's like best of both worlds. Why wouldn't you be nice to yourself? You're feeling good on both ends. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I really enjoy just talking at people, and you know, even if nobody watches this, it feels good to just kind of talk while I'm doing this, because I really like knitting, and while I'm doing that, I can also be making a YouTube video. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. If not, I got something out of this. So just remember to look out for yourself and to look out for other people. Have a great day, and thank you for watching. See you next time.